Good evening, and we're back for our final visit to the Miracle Beach Resort in Antalya for the championship deciders at the Predator Turkish Open, part of the Predator EUROTOUR Series. So let's introduce our players. On table 2, it's the women's final, and introducing from Germany, Miriam Steiner. And her opponent from Austria, Jasmine Ocean. And on table one, it's the men and an all-Polish final. Firstly, will you welcome Radoslav BABICA. And his opponent, will you welcome WOJCIECH Szewczyk. The women's final is a race to 7 racks and the men a race to 9. And your referees in charge of the action on table 2, Bojana Banda of Serbia, and on table 1, Iva Güzeloba of Czechia. Players, you may lag for the break.
Thank you, Luke Riches, and welcome back everybody to the Predator Turkey Open all the way from Antalya. We are live and ready to kick off in this final. Today we're going to find out who's going to be the champion in this super strong 8-ball EuroTour. Discipline this time is 8-ball. It's a race to 9, as Luke just said. We'll be breaking the balls, alternate break per 2 racks. And we've got a great matchup between Radoslav BABICA and WOJCIECH Szewczyk, an all-Polish final. I mean, how could we not have a Polish final? There was 6 Polish players in the quarterfinal, just to make a statement. In the commentary booth for this match, myself, Tim de Ruiter, gladly joined by my good friend and colleague, Graham Hickman. Graham, what a final we're going to have.
Yeah, hey Tim, hey everybody. Yeah, that's an incredible stat, isn't it? 6 Polish in the quarterfinal. Just tells you, we say this often enough, how strong they are in the EuroTour events and European Championships. But yeah, this should be quite an interesting one. Good to see BABICA back in the business end of tournaments, been around for a while. But I do believe, Tim, they're both going for their first EuroTour win. So it could be, they've had a few finals over the years. Of course, Szewczyk winning the World 10 Ball and many other events. But EuroTour seems to have evaded them. At least if my statistics are correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but that's what I think.
Well, let's have a little look if you're right or wrong. I mean, I'm not too great with the stats either, you know that. But BABICA to break the balls, first 2 breaks for him.
I thought my screen had froze for a moment there, Tim. He took quite a bit of time on that break, preparing himself, and the final stroke wasn't as powerful as I thought it was going to be. It was more of a control break, but he didn't get a ball.
Yeah, I had the pleasure to actually do his semi-final earlier today, and he was breaking similar way, kind of puts a bit of a pop on the balls. Just trying to leave the cue ball in the center of the table. The cue ball won't be jumping. It's just like a firm stop shot. He beat Luca Men from Germany 9-8 in a thrilling semi-final. Definitely worth rewatching. But I gotta say, he was breaking the balls really well, though, doing this kind of break. And, well, definitely not like it has happened this time. This time, not so great. And I think this is a pretty decent run out for WOJCIECH. Can play the 7, can then play the 2. The 1 connects to the 4. By the time he clears up the 3 solids on the bottom left, the 8 ball will go to the bottom left as well.
Yeah, balls are sitting pretty nice, aren't they? Just about making the puzzle. But back to your break comment. Yeah, he's obviously, well, to have a good battle against Szewczyk, he's going to have to make that break work, because we know how well he breaks the balls. Very solid 8 ball player. But most of these big top end, well, end of tournament games are all going to come down to the break anyway. 8 ball, as you know, Tim, is so big on the break, because if you do dry, there's so many options that present themselves to a player. You really want to get that first chance. Oh, the cue ball.
Oh, I don't think he's on any. Did he get lucky to be on that 2 ball still? Wow. And actually can draw just softly into the A2. But he's queuing a bit on the left side of the cue ball just because of the 15. Yeah, just fine. Now, if he doesn't feel like holding the cue ball for the top right on the 1 ball, he could definitely run the cue ball into the 12. Any contact on the 12, you would say you're either on the 4 or on the 1 or both.
Yeah, it's a good option, isn't it? Looks like he's going to go try and find something.
Yeah, maybe he could play. That's the other option. He might have played to play the 1 off the 11 into the center. Or the 4. I mean, like, keep multiple options alive.
Yeah, I think he's good on the 4, isn't he? He can just drag this over our 4 and rail for the 1 in the opposite middle. Played that pretty well.
Yeah, I gotta say, since I've seen Wojciech play in the last 16 against Petri Makkonen, down 5-2, Petri missing 1 opportunity and didn't even have to take his playing cue out anymore. It was just a break, and Wojciech won 7 on a spin. So 5-2, turned it around to win 9-5. And when I seen that, I said, okay, I think Wojciech is going to win this EuroTour. And he's just, the semi-final, he came out guns blazing, just like he does now. Perfect run out. And directly steals that opening rack off Babica's break.
Yeah, but this is kind of what happens. Open table. Okay, maybe a little bit of a blip just there a moment ago, but managed to weather the storm and find a route for the run out. But I think this is going to be the way this final is going to go anyway. Any mistake, you will be punished. It's normally the way in 8 ball anyway, but good thing with the 2 breaks, Babica has another break. See if he can, well, he definitely needs to try and win this one, because then Szewczyk will have 2 of his own to really turn the screw early on this match.
Yeah, this is a bit similar to how he was breaking. The only thing that he was doing a bit better is the cue ball was more in the center of the table, and I think he's putting quite some spin actually on the break. And when you see someone's bridge hand coming off the table, that's where very often, if you look in slow motion how the cue went through the cue ball, you could see that he pulled a lot of side spin on the ball.
Yeah, it was pretty well controlled though. A few balls just coming together, causing a little bit of congestion, but both stripes do go on the side, Tim, so I do think stripes are going to be the way here. As you see there, you just looked at it, so it's just about picking them off. Maybe get rid of that stripe below the 8 ball. It could be quite nice to move now.
Yeah, I like this. Maybe even 12, draw back now. Try to put yourself straight onto... Well, I'm kind of waiting for that stripe in the bottom left. Yeah, the 13. So, yeah, can draw back like half a diamond. He's always guaranteed to be on the 9. But if he lands on the 13, then just the ball back to be on the 9. Go up for the 15. 14, 11, get to the 8. I mean, this is... Well, you don't really have to connect the dots. You just got to make sure you take care of YD. Take care of the cue ball, and the cue ball will take care of you.
Yeah, the good thing is there's also quite a bit of table to work with. The balls seem to have spread so well that the middle part of that table is kind of traffic free, and you can actually put the cue ball in lots of different places to have shots on a few different balls, at least at the moment. So yeah, he's going to get rid of this 9. He's a little bit off angle, but he can punch it if he wants, or try to play it with a bit of left hand spin, depending how he sees it.
Oh, very pushy stroke. Didn't really hit the ball so clean. And because he was playing that inside spin, if you do not hit the ball the same way, the deflection turns different on the ball too. And as you could see, it was a very short backswing. And the cue didn't really go straight through the ball just because everything was so compact and short. And usually when the pressure gets high, that's where players start to pinch the balls with such a short stroke.
Yeah, he was close to rattling that 9 ball, but it did disappear. So key shot coming up here. You can choose to, well, you would think he's probably going to go forward off the long rail and back out. He's taking this one in the side, back to the middle of the table-ish. Does want to be totally straight. Well, that's an interesting choke, Tim. I'll have to revisit that conversation in a moment, but is this a little bit awkward? Is he going to have to come back here, or can he go forwards?
It looks like he's still going forwards, but gotta make sure he doesn't hit this too wide and run into the 7. Oh,
Yeah,
he's hooked himself, I think. Or is he... Does he have enough?
I don't think so. Yeah, I just thought it looked a little bit off, didn't it? It didn't look like a perfect angle. It's a good spot by you there. Yeah, he went straight in. That's, I mean, obviously if he catches the 7 either side, he's probably going to get a look at the 8 ball. He kind of caught it in maybe the only way caused a problem, but well, I think he can hit the 8 ball. I don't think he can pot this, Tim. He's got his jump cue out.
Yeah, jump cue. Now I kind of like, yes, I like this a lot, because if you bank the 8 ball, you got to tell yourself, I have to bank it wide, because it could flick off the 3 ball. Watch the 8 into the top right. Oh, it's close. Look at this. Spears it in. What a shot there from Radoslav BABICA.
Wow.
Well, He doesn't look too excited himself, but that was a cracker.
Well, didn't even touch the sides, I don't think. Just rocketed it in the top corner. Doesn't look happy, but that will definitely be on the highlight reel. I'm certain of that. What a jump shot that was, Tim. Goodness me. But yeah, I don't know. Did you notice his chalk? It looks like his chalk doesn't have any like material around it. It just looks like the chalk itself. It's very strange.
Well, I actually got to watch him for 2 hours long earlier today, and I haven't really seen it. But I don't know what you're talking about, so I have to watch it now. Look at this. That is just insane.
Actually didn't touch the sides. Just went straight in. Incredible. I think Szewczyk was thinking he might get a sniff here, at least a look at the table, but not to be. Important rack. 2 breaks coming up for Szewczyk though. We'll get to see the contrast. I think Szewczyk likes to go for a little bit more power. Let's see.
Yeah, definitely sets the tone though. I'm glad that BABICA actually managed to at least win 1 out of the 2 breaks he had. Now expect completely different break than BABICA's. He's gonna absolutely crush him. Yeah, just lovely. I mean, bit unlucky if you would look at it from a certain perspective. If you look at the cue ball, he had controlled it really well, but the 4-reeler bumped it. But then again, I mean, he's made a ball. He still has the options. Solids with stripes. I mean, I actually think you can go both. The 14 is a bit unavailable though. But then yet the 1 ball, also not too ideal for solid. So you kind of got to weigh off which one of the two you find more comfortable too. I guess I like the stripes more because you could get to the 14 while being straight on the 12.
Yeah, I was leaning towards stripes as well, just because of that 1 ball. It is just a little bit funky. This is a better option, I think. And it was a pretty good break, like you said. I think even though he potted a ball, a few other balls were tracking towards a few different pockets, but they got bumped, so could have potted more than 1 for sure. But it's going to have to judge the draw here. Just try and stay above the 6 would be nice. He's played it for the side, so it looks like he's going to go a little bit away from the natural angle. So I don't know if he might have to play a little bit of a longer 11 in the side, Tim. Just go off 1 or 2 rails maybe. Or he's going for the 11 now, maybe. No.
No, he's got to take that 14 out. Yeah, also another detail. I've seen him make a lot of good shots into the sides. We've seen going wrong in the past 2-3 weeks, maybe even more. And, well, he just doesn't really hit the ball so hard when he plays into the side. So he had to do quite a bit there with the cue ball at least. But yet, that pace helped him to not rattle the ball as much. Yeah, I was guaranteed to have one of the 3 available choosing this route. So Szewczyk really off to a great start. I mean, it's looking very solid.
Yeah, these last balls, all pretty close proximity. Cue ball shouldn't be really travelling too far. He's played that pretty well. And just draw this one back in the side. Just a couple of cue balls distance. And then he might have options. I think the 8 even goes in the bottom right as well, Tim. So depending how he lands here, he's got plenty of different ways he can go. centre pocket for the 8, it appears. Yeah, maybe there you go. The 8 ball's a little bit tight in this corner, so just going to pull this back for the side. Keep it simple, Tim. It's the best way, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's doing a very good job at it. This for his first break and run. And has another break to come. Wojciech Szewczyk now taking over the lead.
Yeah, that was a key shot there. Had to remove that ball in the side first, or as soon as possible. That one ball really kind of just deterred you from taking solids, didn't it, Tim? So stripes were much more logical in terms of options for the run out. But he didn't really have any kind of trouble there. Be looking to do the same again. Chase them 2 balls below the break ball into the side. He got one of them. I think the other one was also tracking, but it just got bumped out of the way. Okay, here we go. Szewczyk looking to do a rinse and repeat. Pretty much the same break he's going for. It was good control of the cue ball, just got bumped. Trying to get those balls in the side.
Yeah, another square hit. But this time, and that is one of the things I mentioned before. I think I was doing commentary with colleague Eric Hoylerson on this. Is he in general has one pace, and that is smack him 100%. Did he? No, he didn't make one, right? Or did one still slip in? No. Yeah, I was gonna say actually for how square he's hitting the break, I think he's putting too much on there. But yeah, you're not gonna aim a bit left or a bit right. Like you're not gonna be aiming at not full ball. So it's actually I think he's broken the balls really nicely, but yet maybe too well.
Yeah, hitting them too hard. Well, those balls that normally track towards the centre pocket both went high. So that could indicate that exactly what you're saying, Tim. Maybe a little bit too hard. Just take a little bit of pace off. Try and get them balls more consistently. So Babica taking the stripes, which makes logical sense, but he does have a bit of a problem over this right side of the table, Tim. And he's going to run out of options to do something very quickly, it appears. Can't really see a shot at a quick glance anyway, to open something up. Oh, he's got to land low on this stripe on the left-hand side of the table for me. That's what he's tried. Has he overhit Tim? I think he has. He tried to leave an angle, didn't he? So he could punch over and open the cluster.
Yeah. Just wondering, can he maybe still play with stun left, like a lot of left spin, to throw the 10 more to the right? So aiming for overcut, but yet the ball's frictioning still towards the corner. But no, I mean, he looks lost right now. Could still play the 14. I mean, you gotta shoot the 14, maybe go around the 6 and the 15. Give yourself another chance on the 10. You have to.
Or do you go 14 and go 2 rails into the little cluster? Could that be on as well? Track the 9.
Oof. Well, the run is still alive.
Yeah, but you know what's coming. He's going to put all his eggs in one basket on this next shot. He has to land perfect on this stripe, top left of the table, to give himself a shot. Somewhere in line with the 6-ball would be fine. So it's all about the pace. I think he's there, Tim. So just going to stun this over. I would like to think he's probably going to try to avoid the 9 and go into the solid and the stripe. It doesn't have to be crazy hard. Just got to bump it really, doesn't he, Tim? And have a look at the 9.
Yeah, indeed. Just push the 2-ball over the corner, technically. Oh, a bit pacey. Imagine if he caught it full. Yes, it was okay, but now he has to go twice the length of the table. That's what he's looking to do in between the 3 and the 8. And probably has to go out through the 8 and the 6-ball. Because the angle coming in is the angle coming out. So
yeah, this is tricky. There's lots of traffic here. This could go wrong.
Needs a favorable bump on the 8. Well,
I've seen worse.
so many ways you can play this 12-ball, Graham. I mean, I personally like to play this with a lot of left and move actually back to where the cue ball is now, just that kind of stretch. But he's actually looking at playing something 3 rails around, but there is a scratch. Oh, he's still on the table, but are we gonna see another jump bank on the 8?
Yeah, I prefer your shot, Tim. I think going the way he's just done, you're flirting with all the different traffic down the bottom of the table. I think going your way, you're kind of giving yourself a bit more of a chance to be on the 8. Yeah, he's called the jump cross bank. Can he get 2 in a row, Tim? Well, crazy if he gets this one.
Well, honestly, it looks like he's just missed the 8 by 2 diamonds, right? But that was super close, if you think about it, because technically he's jumping at such a small aiming point on the ball, and he's just barely overcut it. I mean, I know it's not going to make him feel a lot better, but honestly, I gave him, well, a decent chance to make that, actually. Now, actually, the cue ball opening up the 4 or 5 and the 7 for WOJCIECH. And this could be one of those differences in the match. If you look at the score, should have been 2 each, excuse me. Now, possibly 3-1 coming. And we'll put a lot more pressure on BABICA's 2 breaks coming up next.
Well, you just lost the cue ball a little bit there. There is still plenty of options, Tim, but judging by the way he's going about this run out, he's looking to probably leave the 2 balls on the left side of the table towards the end. But he needs to get the, unless he plays that 1 in the top right corner last, he needs to. Yeah, maybe that is going that way now. Try and get over to this left side of the table. Get rid of these 2 balls on the left side. And leave that 2 ball over the corner for the end, Tim. It's probably the way he's going. He's perfect, yeah. Just bring this cue ball back across the table. Doesn't want to be too high up because he would have maybe had to have used the rest if he was right in the corner, but this is pretty good. You can just lean over. Keeping it simple.
Yeah, he does seem to do that quite a lot. Keeping it simple. And this is an early difference in the score. Successfully defended his 2 breaks.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for BABICA there, but as you can see from that view, the starting point of the rack, Tim, wasn't great. He tried to get on it there to open it up early, wasn't able to. Got a bit of a favourable bump there on the 6. Yeah, he just caught it a bit too thin. We didn't see the jump cross bank he tried, but it was a good hit, but not to be this time. And Szewczyk picking up the pieces.
As you can see, no rack needed. Tables are tapped, making all the conditions technically as even as possible. If you win this tournament, it really means you were the best player out there, because all the conditions are, well, completely 50-50, or at least the same for everybody.
These 2 breaks coming up for BABICA are super critical because Szewczyk having a bit of a lead. That's a good break. There you go. That's about the speed we were talking about, Tim. Just for Szewczyk's break, just shows if you can get that pace a little bit more balanced. 2 balls in the side just glided in nicely. This is a good replay. Nice and easy. There you go. And 1 in the top. Nearly in the top, I should say.
Yeah, managed to make 2. And this is definitely more like he has been breaking. The only down part of this break is that the cue ball sometimes tracks to the top short rail a bit, but this break was a lot better than the first 2. I think the nerves are gonna settle a little bit. Now, 2 clusters. Definitely not a fan of the solids, as you can see, of the stripes, excuse me. He's taking the 7, probably because of the 10. There is no stripe near the 10 ball. And now, I have to say, he is in the position to play the 6 and go 2 rails, nudge the 10 away.
Yeah, I like that option. I think that you've got to kind of take that opportunity when it presents itself. Maybe he's a bit thin on the 6. The 3 ball does go in this bottom left corner. You can see that from the shot. Obviously, you've got to get position on that, but yeah, I kind of like that 6 ball, Tim. Obviously, it can go wrong, but it could be worth the risk.
It's either that, or I'm probably gonna try and play myself. Either play the bump on that 3 and the 9, or maybe get that shape right, because you cannot take 1 or 2 more balls out and still be running with 2 clusters on the table. Is he possible? Do you think he can cut the 4 from this position and run into the 10 to be either on the 6 or the 5?
I don't think so. Sometimes it can be deceiving. I know what you're saying. Maybe you might want to play the 5 and go up off the short rail, play that 3 ball in the bottom left, Tim, and then you might have a nice angle on the 6 from there. But I mean, he's talking about pinpoint position here.
Yeah, and he's taken so many balls away. Like, to go off the 6 into the 4-10, you're not guaranteed to have either the 4 or the 2 ball. So I would have liked to do a bit more there with more balls on the table, but yet he's still running. Now, can he leave himself that same angle we spoke about before? So probably just follow half a diamond, diamond, take the cut on the 6.
Maybe even a stop shot, Tim. Just take where it is. That would work as well, wouldn't it? Keep it as easy as possible. You might even be able to play one rail, use the 6 ball and just go one rail into the 10 rather than playing the 2. That would give him more opportunity to be on the solid just closest to the corner pocket. I kind of like that option, because if he flicks the solid as well, he's going to have a look at it in the bottom right, you would think.
Yeah, game over. All he has the bank on the 4. But I kind of liked running 2 rails and catch the 10 or even the 4 on the side, but the bump really didn't work out for him. Now cross side needs to play with low right spin. If he catches a piece of the 4, that could work. But don't forget to make the ball.
Needs another one.
Yeah, just like Drake likes to say, another one. He's made the first one though. One more hurdle.
Yeah, he's having a think about the cue ball. Obviously, potting the ball is the most important thing. But back of his mind, he needs to thread the cue ball a little bit to have a look at this 8 in the side. He's overdone it, Tim. He's concentrating on the position, wasn't he? I think pushed it out.
So easy to judge. I mean, I probably would say make the ball, whatever on the 8, just make it. Give yourself a chance. But on the other side, doesn't make any sense to make a ball and then hook yourself behind the 10. So there's always 2 sides of the coin. But the biggest problem for BABICA is the fact that this is now twice that he's left the balls wide in the open for WOJCIECH. Oh, is he going to freeze up on this ball? Oh.
But he does have a pretty good safety option if he wants to take it. I think he can still pot this 9 relatively okay. He could just kind of roll to the right side rail if he wanted to play the hook, but it does leave a bit of a jump bank option. Might be forced into playing this 9 ball in the corner. He's looking at the safety option as well, I think. Yeah, he's playing the safety, Tim. I don't blame him for that, but this does leave a crazy jump bank or jump cut option, doesn't it? Anything can happen. We've already seen that already in this match. was a decent hit. To be fair, he caught it pretty well. Just not accurate enough, and he's left now a little bit more of a clean-cut chance for Szewczyk. Not to say the last one wasn't, but he was a bit hampered trying to play position on that one. That was over the corner. This one is a little bit more for the liking.
Yeah, do you think he's going to play for a window between the 4 and the 8? Or is he going to pop out, risking that he lands with too much angle on the 12?
Yeah, I don't know. He's also got an option. He could try and squeeze it down the rail for the one on the short rail. Playing for the window. It could all go wrong. He's playing for the window though, Tim. Looks okay. Ooh, well, I think he's just okay, maybe. Just okay.
Well, I think he can still, if he plays this with a lot of right spin and a level cue, I think he can still bend the cue ball enough. Oh, it's called as extension. Right on the shot. Don't really get to see that very often. Yeah, there's that spin. And that means Babica in some big trouble now. 4-1. Best he can do on his breaks is 4-2. But 3-4 racks. Definitely a comfortable lead in the making for Szewczyk.
Yeah, I think the difference for me, Tim, it feels like Babica is maybe chasing his runouts a little bit more than Szewczyk. Okay, there was a few clusters here like we've seen, but he did have options. You see, he tried to play the 6 ball in the corner, hoping the little cluster up didn't work out. Made the bank, but wasn't able to do with the next bank. And then Szewczyk playing the safety shot to get a much more open table. A little bit of spin on that one to bend it in. And yeah, Szewczyk just looks in control really at the moment. But just on the other table, we have the women's final in motion as well. Yasmin Ocean against Miriam Steiner from Germany. Yasmin is 3-1 of the good at the moment. That's a race to 7. And she's at the table, as you can see there. Maybe she'll be looking to try and get revenge on Miriam for beating them in the teams, Tim, in the World Champs. That went all the way, hill matches, and then a shootout. But Germany prevailed.
Now, I have to say, this is probably one of the most important breaks we will have in this match. Because Babica really needs a breaker run on this. I think if he goes down 5-1, things might start to get out of hand for him. Oh, the break as well. Now, did we see any issues at the table?
Doesn't look too bad, does it? And that's the kind of break you want, really. I mean, if that stripe goes in the side, that's what he's looking at right now. I mean, both solids and stripes are probably an option. They all go, whether it's in corner or side pockets. It's just about personal preference and how you're starting, isn't it, Tim? What looks best? But he's looking at the side straight away. Is he going to play a combination, or is he going to play the stripe in the side, maybe? Not sure. Change of plan. giving this a lot of thought. Maybe he's just in a bit of a strange position, stretching-wise. So this is the third time lucky. Looked at the side, didn't like it. Looked in the corner, stretching a bit much. So he's going for the bottom corner, much more comfortable with your hand on the table. I mean, there's so many options, isn't there, Tim? All these stripes are pretty nicely spread. Maybe a little bump on the 7 here. Just moving it out of the way. And now this rack is at his mercy. Probably leave the one to the left of the 8 ball till the end. That could be a nice connector to the black, maybe. But there's so many options. Yeah, judging by this shot selection, he will be leaving the stripe just to the left of the 8 ball till the end, unless something goes wrong. That's a nice last ball to get on the 8. Means the cue ball doesn't have to travel as much. He's pretty good here as well, Tim.
Yeah, I gotta say, if you look at him, you can kind of feel the pressure though. Like, he's definitely not comfortable in this final. I mean, who knows how often these two have played each other just in Poland. Let's say not even in international tournaments outside Poland, the Euro Tours, etc., etc. You don't know the history between these two. But WOJCIECH, being a former World 10 Ball champion, could definitely put some more pressure out there on BABICA.
Yeah, he's played that well though. That will make the running of this rack that little bit easier. Doesn't have to do a great deal with this. You can just pull it back a couple of balls, or you could draw it back to the right side of the table if he chooses. I do think just a little draw might be best. Yeah, I like that option better. Taking these pretty well. It was a good break, a really good break actually. So many options. Could have taken solids or stripes. Could have went so many different ways. But the most important thing was to run them out, and that's what he's done.
Yeah, so he does reduce the deficit, but yeah, it's still trailing 4-2, and WOJCIECH will be breaking the next two. Definitely had a monster battle against Luca Men, taking the lead, going down, taking the lead again, hill. I've had every single thing in that match. And actually, to close out the match, he missed the winning the winning 8 ball actually. He was 8-7 ahead, missed the winning 8. And then yet on hill, he managed to get the run out in. So BABICA definitely a hard worker, you could say. Yeah, in the meantime, actually Yasmin Ushan and Miriam Steiner going at it on the table next to this one. Yasmin, who's won the World 8-Ball Championship, the European 8-Ball Championship, well, and possibly this Euro Tour. Well, you could say that 8-Ball is her favorite discipline, right?
Yeah, it has to be. Oh, definitely one of the favourites. I mean, she's so good. commentated on Yasmin's matches yesterday as well, and she's just so clinical in the balls, very good pattern play, just so hard to beat in 8-ball, hence why she's won so much and the World Championship. So, but right now we focus on the men's.
Yeah, and these kind of breaks, these help him out very well. You know, actually when he's hitting him not perfectly square in the face. As you can see, this time the 7 or the 13 just fine. And it's just because of that little bit of overcut, a little bit less speed on the balls. And yeah, look at this. I think for solids, the 2-ball. For stripes, well, he's got 3 problems with the stripes, so no way I'm going for stripes here. He's gonna play a combination on the 3 using the 9 to make sure he's solids. And I use the 4 to get on the 5-ball.
Yeah, that makes sense. So key shot here. Cue ball's going to travel a little bit. As you can see, the right side of the table, there is options. You can come down to this long rail on the left side, the middle diamond, the orange in the right side. How's the pace though, Tim? He's gone all the way down. 6-ball's going to have to be the one. Not sure if he played for the 6, but it's worked out okay.
Yeah, now can he maybe play into the 11-ball? You would say you're always gonna be on the 5-ball. No matter the hit onto the 11, but maybe you can push the 2-ball out. Oh, he's left himself more angle. Would have definitely liked to be rather too high than too low, I think, on this 5.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like your shot playing into the 11. Of course, you could have pushed the 11 into the 8-ball and maybe caused a problem or something, but it's going to have to go into the 8. Can he go underside the 8? That's what he's tried. Well, he does have a
I
sniff.
think it's just fine.
Yeah, it's a bit off angle though, Tim, isn't it? And that stripe on the long rail is going to cause a little bit of discomfort in your potting line. Maybe he's definitely got a bit of the pocket. Whether it's a full pocket, hard to say, but it's not a gimme. What do we know, Tim? Made it look like a gimme. Well, BABICA deciding now is the time to maybe just break up the flow. Szewczyk deciding to take his time out. So while the players take a short break, Tim and I will also take a short break, but don't go anywhere. As soon as the players return, we will be right back for the conclusion of this final. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back, everybody, to Antalya here in Turkey. This is the Predator Turkey Open, and in this final, we have WOJCIECH Szewczyk, who is currently on a rampage. He's 5-2 up, has his second break of the two. We're alternate breaking per 2 racks. BABICA just taking a timeout to see if he can maybe slow this man at the table down. Graham, do you think it might work on him?
I don't think so. I think Szewczyk is in a bit of a groove. Look at that cue ball parked in the middle of the table. What about that for a break? Every ball potable. All depends if you can get a shot at a stripe in that top corner. Yeah. Don't blame BABICA taking a timeout at all. He used all his time as well. I think this stripe is available in the top right corner, and maybe just because it's the opening shot, well, both the options are fine, aren't they, Tim? Really, let's be honest, solids or stripes.
Yeah, very true. Maybe near the bottom you could find a ball that's a little bit like, for example, well, I was gonna say the 11 for stripes, but no, it really was so open you could go both ways. Now, did you put in your prediction for the winner of this event like a couple rounds ago, or?
No, I stopped doing that because I always seem to jinx the player. I just wait and see. Wait and see what happens. I think you kind of get some good matches. Like you said, you've seen Szewczyk earlier playing some solid stuff, but as you know, every match is different. I've had some crazy ones. Even in the European Championships, remember the final with Gangflute against Exposito? He was 6-0 up, absolutely cruising, thinking there's no way he's going to lose this match, but somehow he did. Exposito having a crazy comeback and winning 8-7. So I've learned maybe not to make a prediction, Tim.
Well, I was just wondering, we always have one colleague that likes to bring this up. And then he asked me, and I said, you know, the only thing I can guarantee that the player that's going to win this event is going to be a player that is breaking the balls, like absolutely hammering the balls. Well, and so far we have WOJCIECH absolutely hammering the balls. So just impressed that I might be right for once. And just look at this. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to add to this either. Another perfect breaker run. Cannot be disappointed as well if you lose against someone playing like this, right? It's either you do the same or you go home and practice.
Yeah, very well said. I think when you're breaking that good and you've got options of both balls, I mean, look at the table. Of course, you still have to do it. That's always the cliche. Just because you break so well doesn't mean that you can run the table. But Szewczyk showing us how solid he is in the balls. We all know how good he is at running the tables. And like you say, picking a player is always tricky. One thing is for certain that I can 100% guarantee the Polish player will be winning this final. That's the only stake in the ground that I'm putting on. So, yeah, 6-2. He needs a bit of help from Szewczyk for me here, Tim. Even if he can get his break working, he needs something to go wrong in WOJCIECH's camp here.
Yeah, the only problem now too is like BABICA needs 2 successful breaks and 2 runs. But you also know in the back of your mind, if I lose 1, maybe even 2, WOJCIECH is playing so well, he might be already able to close out the match. So somewhere in the back of your mind, you gotta put these thoughts away and say, well, I lost the initiative in this match, you know, let's just relax and see if I can make a run for it. But it's so difficult to not think like the first example I gave.
Yeah, it's always hard. I think the key thing is he's got to do what he can do and not worry about Szewczyk. That's the only thing because that's the only thing he can control. Starts with a good break. Check one done. Next thing is to run the table, and that will be check two. But there you see the 8-ball is having a little bit of a party with the cluster there. Stripes are probably going to be the way. Does the 8 go on the side, Tim? I mean, it looks very tight. If you didn't have to disturb anything, that is.
I honestly don't think it does go into the side, and this is one of the down parts of the break that BABICA has compared to WOJCIECH. I think BABICA has more chance to make one of the usual suspects on the break, but there's always going to be congestion near the bottom side of the table, and well, with Szewczyk breaking the ball so firm, usually everything is wide in the open, but then it's a bit more tricky to know if you're going to make those balls into the center. So yeah, if you could definitely be somewhere between that, that would be ideal.
Yeah, good assessment. Makes sense. I think what could work in BABICA's favour here is if the 8-ball doesn't go on the side, I'd probably put my money on that it goes in the top left corner. Just trying to think of options where you don't have to disrupt any balls, and then he can just play down for the stripe closest to the long rail here in the bottom left corner, and then work his way across the table maybe for the 8 in the top left, Tim. That's possibly an out. Then again, I'm not sure what he was trying there, Tim. If he was going to play this one next, I would have much preferred to be straight on it rather than having loads of angle. Yeah, he's playing the same kind of shot, but it's worked out okay. He might have to play this last stripe in the top right corner. That could be a nice little connecting ball for the 8 in the top left, assuming that it does go, Tim, by the way.
Well, he's got a major cut now, and the 8 doesn't go to the bottom right, so it not only needs to put some magic onto this 14. I was trying to get to the short side, and I kind of liked the shot you chose to play.
Yeah, I just didn't see any value in going around that stripe, to be honest, Tim, because unless the 8-ball doesn't go in the top left, then fair enough. I could understand that, but didn't need to go further than somewhere near the bottom of the table. But either way, looks like he's going to try and pop this in the top right corner and go into the green 6-ball. One thing he doesn't need to have here is to catch the green full in the face. He needs to catch either left side or right side to maybe have a look at this 8, you would think.
Oh, needs a bit of a rub off the 7. Has got it, but another tricky one though. This may sound weird, but if you're not feeling like you're cueing the ball confident, I might actually consider shooting the 8 either off the 2 or off the 1 into the left center. Like if you're not feeling to take this onto the top right.
Yeah,
he's going for it though.
Yeah, you're playing the 8 into kind of the worst kind of the way into the pocket, wide open, any kind of connection on the rail. There you go, he's going to miss this one, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. hardest balls to pot potentially at that kind of speed. But it has to be said though, Tim, even though he missed it, it wasn't a bad result from where he landed on that stripe. He did the hard work to have a look at the 8. Kind of got to try to capitalise on that. And now Szewczyk has a nice open table.
Yeah, this is actually the 3rd time now that BABICA left all the stripes or all the solids up for the taking for WOJCIECH. Well, I mean, I'm quite sure he knows that playing in a final, you just cannot do that. That's just too many mistakes.
Yeah, it's going to catch you. Just can't afford to do it. Period. And Szewczyk opting to leave the solid at the top of the table till the end, which shouldn't really cause any problems. He stunned that quite nicely to leave a good angle to go off 2 or maybe 3 rails here. Just punch this round. I mean, even if he's straight on this ball, he's going to be fine. Unless he's on the rail. That could only be the thing that could go wrong. He's not going to be on the rail. Yes, great shot.
Yeah, you gotta say, Szewczyk is just doing his job. It's coming along quite easy this way, though. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can blame him for. He's just doing what he's supposed to do. 7-2 now. 5-game deficit. Can we make a turnaround happen? 7-2, maybe to 8-8.
Wow. The first thing that needs to change, Tim, is BABICA has to take the chances he's getting, because, like you said before, maybe 3 times or so, he's left a wide open table. Let's just say he took 2 of those. Scoreline would be kind of 5-4, very much in the match, but he hasn't taken any. Let's not forget the crazy jump bank at the beginning, which was a fantastic shot. I feel like repeating myself, but he seems to be just chasing his runouts a little bit rather than it being so clinical. But he has to take this breakout, because if he doesn't, well, Szewczyk will likely be on the hill and then have multiple breaks to try and win the match.
Oh, and yet the first 2 breaks of the match weren't too great for him, but everything else, this is definitely the break he's been practicing over and over. Look at this, nice solid hit. Cue ball just very slowly moving to an area where he's most likely going to have options. 2 balls into the center. Yet no gimme for a layout, I feel like, Graham.
Yeah, maybe. I think solids looks like it's the only option, really. I say that. There you see that little cluster of balls there. It does go in the top right corner, so you could take stripes as well. Maybe a little bit of a, well, can I even say tester, but maybe a longer distance shot to start with. No gimme starting ball. Big shot this. I fully expect him to make it, but a bit of pressure on. Yeah. I mean, Tim, well, in terms of break-wise, that's a perfect break, really. Okay. Not an easy starter, but the balls have spread fantastic. He's got options, either solids or stripes, and those two balls going in the centre pocket. Exactly what you want to see from a break. This is good stuff. Needs to take them out, though. He's taking his time. Taking all his time. Shot clock's going to start creeping up here. I just realised I thought he had forgot maybe about taking an extension for a moment, but he knows the importance of this rack. He's probably just a little bit straighter than he would have liked, potentially. So I'm wondering if he might try and draw this back off the long rail and back out, maybe.
Well, I gotta say, it's a bit of a waste, I feel like, to use your extension on that 2-ball. And even then, with the extension, he dropped it all the way down to 6 seconds. That means technically he almost used a minute for that straight-in shot. That is kind of crazy to me. Imagine now you run out of shape and you have to take on a difficult one and the timer comes up. Now you don't have your extension anymore.
Yeah, and he hasn't played a great shot either. He's going to have to run up the table again. Something going wrong, Tim. Maybe a tad fortunate there to have the angle to play in this bottom left corner. This puts a bit of pressure on this one. Should have been so much more straightforward. This is the key shot. Well, for the run out it is, at least.
Ooh, I have to say at the pace he's played it, that did look slightly wide. But just enough to drop. And now I don't like to play this draw because you're drawing the cue ball towards the 12, so he has to go forward. Oh, another tester. This one is easier than the 8 he just missed in the last rack, but hopefully he's not thinking about the 8 he just missed in the last rack. Ooh, have to say, that is twice just on the edge of not dropping, but BABICA does get the job done at least on his second break. Does now have a 7-3 scoreline to beat in a race to 9. And everything in WOJCIECH's hands. Can he close it out with 2 breaker runs? That's the question.
Yeah, again, chasing the run out, managing to find a way somehow to get that one on the board. But like you said, Szewczyk does have a handful of breaks at his mercy. He's still not on the hill, though. It's always kind of important to keep your opponent off the hill as much as you can. Just makes the game a little bit not completely dead in the water if you make a mistake. You've got a bit of time still. But yeah, Szewczyk will be looking to capitalise on his breaks for sure. Just before we get into that, break from Szewczyk. On the women's side, Yasmin, a little bit of a battle back from Miriam Steiner there. I think she was 6-1 down, Tim, and it's now 6-4. Of course, Yasmin on the hill, probably have some break at some point. But yeah, maybe a little bit of pressure building on that one.
Yeah, this is just that bit of cut he needs on the break with how much power he delivers. And I think, well, would like to go stripes just because of that cluster in the bottom left of the table. The 2 and the 9 finding each other. But I do think the 9 ball still goes. And I don't think, well, he's called a 6. Does he not have a shot on the 12? And what's he going to use on the solids to open the 2-9?
Yeah, maybe the 5 in the side could be an option. Just looking at where it is, the 1 obviously can maybe give you an opportunity. I kind of like the 5 in the side. If he can get there early, leave the 4 over the side, Tim, somehow play the 5 in the side and go into that 2 and 9. You should have a bit of a safety ball over the centre pocket. Of course, that's a few shots away. But yeah, interesting, you can't see the 12 in the side. I wonder if you bring the cue ball down table straight away, Tim, just so you can guarantee another shot in case the 7 goes wrong. Yeah, I like this opportunity.
Well, this might be ideal. Does the 5 go to the bottom left? Could be able to follow into the 2-9. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of close. And you have the 4 and the 1 next to it. Yeah, he took quite a bit of time to check the possibilities on the 5. Yeah, you gotta go. Oh man, this might have worked out perfect. Oh, WOJCIECH, Szewczyk.
Yeah, it was a nice bump on the 5. Good spot, Tim. I mean, he's played it well. He always had that safety ball over the centre pocket, but it's worked out so nice. He can play the 2 even if he wants to anyway. Try and come above the 1 if he wants, or come underside. Oh, he's come back across for 1. That's
yeah, the only thing he could be disappointed about is being on the rail a bit. On the other side, he can drop this in, use the top short rail to come back out on the 4.
he's just got to make sure the cue ball doesn't run away. Just about the pace here. Doesn't need to do anything crazy. As we know, Szewczyk likes to keep it easy. It's been a pretty good run out this, Tim, has to be said. Okay, you could say it was a nice bump on the 5, but he executed it very well. And taking these balls super smooth. Perfect angle now just to draw down for the 8 in the side. And the hill is looming.
Well, in my opinion, you're not just a great 8-ball player if you can pick out a pattern after the break. In my opinion, you have to be able to, like for example, the bump he had on the 5 was not planned, but he had the possibilities, he had the ability to look at which ball was laying the best, and he picked the right one. And he does it all the time. Like every time he runs out of shape a little bit, he's making the right choices. So it still looks easy, even though he's bumping some balls here and there. But he's managing really well. Like here, he played for the 4 and he nudged the 5 over and he landed perfect on it. Well, I mean, I think it's a skill rather than luck.
Yeah, and it's the cliche, isn't it? You've got to make your own luck. If you make the right choices and generally play the right shots, you would think that things will work out more often than not. He's played these pretty well. Very nice run out. Does get him on the hill and one step closer to that first prize of $7,500. The run-out prize of $5,000 is still not a bad outcome, but it's more about the title and getting that first Euro Tour under your belt. The fields are extremely strong these days, so winning any Euro Tour or European Championship medal is quite an achievement in its own right, Tim, isn't it? Such a good depth of players and high-level opponents.
So now, the second of his series of 2 breaks. Can he close it out for the match, for the title? Oh, and that is a rare one. I have seen 3 matches of him, Graham, and I did not see a single one of those. But at least we get to see BABICA play a bit.
Yeah, complete miss hit, really. Cue ball sent flying towards the left side of the table, and because he had that little bit of topspin on it, just kind of pulled it down into the side. Very quick glance. Table is pretty open. Ball in hand does help a little bit in terms of shooting down the table, but key question is, does the 8-ball go, Tim, in the bottom right corner? It must do, surely.
Well, I would like to have a look at the table before I say something. Yeah, I think it does. This one's tight though into the center. Yeah, I think this is... Imagine if WOJCIECH had the cue ball still on the table. Like, if you can get to the center of the table, you've got 5 balls to land on. But he just doesn't trust this 5 ball for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, cue ball in the middle of the table, Tim, you can pretty much pot every ball, let's be honest. You can just flick round this, though. That's not ideal. Unless the 3-ball goes in the bottom left corner, that might be a nice option. Rather than sending the cue ball on a bit of a journey, just play a bit of a stop shot.
Or he could cut the 7 ball in and run the cue ball into the 12. Gotta hit it straight.
And obviously if the 8-ball does go, which it looks like it does, because he hasn't had any luck at any kind of options to try and disrupt it. From that view there, it looks pretty good. So it's just about maneuvering the cue ball around these three balls left that are pretty close to the pockets. Nothing should really be going wrong here.
Well, you would assume if the 8 didn't go, you would assume he's already opened it up, right? So could climb back at least 8-4. Then possibly 2 very successful breaks, 8-6. But either way, he will have to survive 2 more breaks from WOJCIECH.
He's just leaning over this stripe. Should be fine, referee. You're having a close look there, but he's all good.
Well, if he touches the 14 first and slices the 8 in, he loses the match. Okay. He's got the 8 ball down. So we're 8-4. 2 breaks to come. And now timeout coming from WOJCIECH. Looking to see if he can maybe create an opportunity on BABICA's break. So Graham Hickman, myself, Tim de Ruiter, we are gonna take a break too. But we will be back very soon with the remainder of this match. Can BABICA still play himself back into this match? Let's find out very soon after the break.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We're here in Turkey for the Predator Turkish Open. Szewczyk just taking a break there. BABICA's break. Coming to the conclusion of this final. Somehow BABICA's hanging in there, but Szewczyk has really put on a bit of a show. 2 breaks coming for BABICA. See if he can try and close the gap. Myself, Graham Hickman, and Tim DeRouter been calling this one. Wow, where are we going here, Tim? Can he find 2 magical breaks?
Well, this is one. 6-ball drops, perfect cue ball. So, makes 2 balls, and look at this spread. This is definitely a good start. Now, the winner of this match, 7,500 euros. The loser of this match, 5,000 euros. Imagine if BABICA can make a run for it, come all the way back and win this final. That would be a painful 2,500 euro loss for Szewczyk. I could imagine.
Yeah, well, being 8-2 in front, I believe it was, irrelevant of the money, it will be hard to lose a match from that scoreline, especially on alternate break as well. Kind of just before we started this rack as well, Tim, on the other table, Yasmin Ocean was 6-1 up against Miriam Steiner from Germany, 6-5. So the woman from Germany has clawed her way back. I believe she was at the table. Unsure if she still is, but we'll either hear a clap or a celebration if Yasmin can win. But that's on the other table. But Radoslav here is in a good space. Try and run these out. Lovely break.
Yeah, I have to admit, in the meantime, I had to open up the stream of the other table because it would be unreal if that actually goes 6 each.
Yeah, the Austrian and German battle continues. Similar to the team championships I mentioned at the start of this match. Both those matches going hill-hill. And Germany just squeezing out in a 1-rack shootout of 10 ball to win the title. So a little bit of, I'm not going to say needle, but a little bit of revenge going on there, or battling still. But how about this, Tim? How well is BABICA taking these balls here? A little drawback. So nice on the 12, and then another just stop shot, stun shot really for an easy 8.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a long way to go. Just enjoy the ride at this point, you know. Enjoy every opportunity you can get. The only thing you can try and do is apply some pressure on WOJCIECH. Now, in the meantime, Miriam missing the last ball before the 8 on the other table. Yasmin playing safes on Miriam. Now, she does have the solids open for the win. And this now 8-5. I mean, I didn't really expect anything else from Radoslav. BABICA. Always a hard fight. Always puts up a hard fight. Or definitely not the one to give up. But I have to say, you might think it's a bit unnecessary at this point. I mean, I just don't think there's still so many breaks to come for WOJCIECH. I just don't think he's starting to play well in time, Graham.
Yeah, but strange things can happen, Tim. And as you said there, Szewczyk did have a very uncharacteristic or scratch in the side, if you could say, that wasn't something he's been doing. So all it takes is maybe a scratch or a kicking off or even just a dry break. And now we're getting to the real business end. Of course, this next break, he has to do the same again. 8-6, he's in the match. And all it takes is maybe one mistake from Szewczyk, and then who knows where we'll end up. So Babica wants to do exactly what he done just a moment ago. Perfect break, make a ball, hopefully run the table. It's that simple, Tim, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Oh, this one looks to be dry. No, the 4-ball comes to the rescue. Oh, I'm quite sure his heart skipped a beat there. If you look at the 3 and the 5, both balls wrong.
Yeah, that could be a big moment there as well. Szewczyk was maybe, when he was watching the 2 balls go towards the centre pockets, nothing dropping, he thought, wait a minute, this could be a chance. But last ball, or some kind of ball, was just squeezing through all the traffic. It's quite a nice table as well, Tim. Really, all the balls go stripes or solids, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only thing that held him back from going for solids was the fact that the one might not have been able to go to the top right. And then, by the way, table 2, now Yasmin on the 8-ball for the title. Predator Turkey Women's Open. Yeah, and another title for the Austrian, Yasmin Ushan. Congratulations, what a performance. She's now the Predator 8-ball EuroTour champion, the European 8-ball champion, and the World 8-ball champion. That is insane.
Yeah, it's quite something, isn't it? Quite incredible. She just keeps winning and winning, and it's at the point now where I think we've lost count of how many EuroTour titles she's won. It's definitely more than 20, because I can recall that milestone achieved a while back. But yeah, she's such a competitor. But let's see. Babica getting closer to another run out. Nicely done. 8-ball. 8-ball does probably go in the bottom left. Obviously goes in the bottom right as well. So going to obviously play these 2 stripes next to each other, probably first potentially.
I do like if he has a bit of an angle on the 11 to go to the 14 first. 11, 14, and then use the 12 to get for the 8 in the same corner as the 14. But in that case, he probably had to draw the cue ball in and out the rail to get on the 14.
He's bridging over a few solids here. Obviously, we're trying to see where anything could go wrong potentially, but I mean, you can draw this back, play the 8 in the bottom left. You could even run it forward and go off a couple of rails, but coming back is the most logical.
Yeah, pinpoint shape. There's not much you can say about this, Graham. He is fighting his heart out for another chance, but soon, well, we are going to find out. It's either WOJCIECH takes the title in the next 2 breaks, or we will have a hill match. Quite the comeback already. Winning 4 on the spin. or 3 on the spin. Not sure. 7-2, 8-3.
Yeah, maybe 8-3, 8-2. Well, yeah, you can see that on the scores. It'd be good to check that actually, just for our case. It was 8-3. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, he's battled back pretty well. Done what he can do, Tim. Ultimately, like we said, you can only control what he can really control. He's managed to do that with his breaks. And now Szewczyk maybe mentally was already preparing himself to think about his break and close this match out. He's got 2 chances at it.
Oh, lovely. Now, look at, oh dear, Graham, look at this. Literally all the solids on one side and all the stripes on the other side except for one, and the 8 in the open. Look at this. He doesn't even have to travel from all the solids. You can just pick them out and use the 5 or the 3 ball to get to the 8. Or the other way around. I mean, you could take the 12, get on the 9, and this is crazy.
I mean, we've watched thousands of racks of pool, Tim, and it never ceases to amaze me in this game when you just think something that you've never seen before. Of course, we've seen similar kind of breaks, but talk about timing. I mean, this is quite incredible. All the spots in the same pretty much area. I mean, could you have asked for a better layout to win a rack, let alone a title, Tim?
Yeah, this is a must run out. Just the 4 ball looked like it might not go completely by the 12 in the top right. If it does, I'm quite sure he's going to play there very soon. Maybe now. 3, 4, 1, 7, 5, or is he going? Oh no, he's going 3, 5. Stop shot on the 4. I mean, there's like so many combinations to play this.
Yeah, so many different ways. I mean, chances really don't come much easier than this. And you see, a pretty wide open pocket, to be honest. I mean, he's already thinking about what to have for his celebration dinner, to be honest. This is as easy as it comes for Szewczyk.
Yeah, so now 2 balls away from the title. And honestly, I have been digging deep in my memory if I ever witnessed WOJCIECH winning a EuroTour before. Obviously has had good runs, but just not sure if he's ever won one. Well, in that case, this might be a very pretty one because he's played an excellent final. I mean, probably the only mistake he's made was, well, the scratch. That's probably the only mistake he's made once on the break. So this 8 for the title. Wojciech Szewczyk from Poland gets the job done. And, well, you gotta say, still a great result for Radoslav BABICA. So, Wojciech Szewczyk, our new champion. And I think this feels like a huge relief, Graham. You can see it on his face. I mean, just very happy. I'm very happy for him. Congratulations. That's it for now, actually. We will be back with more action in April. The first week we will be back with a lot of action from St. Louis in the USA. So hopefully we will see you back at Probeer TV. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And for now, Graham Hickman and Tim de Ruiter, we're going to enjoy a little holiday ourselves. So enjoy a little bit of the prize ceremony after. And hopefully we'll see you next time.
For the Predator Turkish Open. So will you welcome our presentation party into the arena, the Vice Chairman of the Turkish Billiard Federation, Mr. Yakmur Aslan, the Organising Director of the Turkish Billiard Federation, Mr. Mustafa Telli, and the President of the IBPF, Mr. David Morris. Firstly, will you welcome our women's runner-up into the arena, Miriam Steiner. But our winner and women's Predator Turkish Open champion, she's from Austria, Jasmine Yaşar. Thank you very much. And moving on to the men's event, we welcome our runner-up from Poland, Radoslav BABICA. But our first-time winner and men's Predator Turkish Open champion, representing Poland, WOJCIECH Szewczyk. And that concludes the presentation ceremony for the Predator Turkish Open. Thank you very much for attending.